So we've got our order form with the order details at the top and a subform which shows each of the games that have been ordered, in other words, each order line in this datasheet view here. Now let's tidy it up. So the easiest way to change the layout of a form or to change the basics is just click onto layout view and you can move things around really quickly. Let's just start with the customer name. I want that to appear alongside um, the customer ID. Now I can drag it a bit with my mouse, but it's not very accurate. If I use the arrow keys, I've got very small movements. I'm pressing up arrow and left arrow to move it across. I'm going to make that field a bit smaller. And then with my mouse, I'm going to drag last name up and then use the arrow keys, down arrow, to get that sort of aligned as well. I don't need the labels, so I'll just delete them, click on them and delete. I've got the subform down here. I don't need the title for it. I'm going to delete that. And I can just drag this subform across. So it's slightly indented. It looks a bit better. I can also change the column widths here. I should change the heading as well. That should say game ID, but let's just do this for speed. I'll leave you to do that. Game title, if I want to move a column, I click on it and I'm going to drag it across. So now I've got the game number, the title for the game, the quantity, and the purchase price. Purchase price I'm going to make a little bit smaller. And very quickly I've sort of improved the layout of the form. I should change the labels as well. You can just click on those and make those more English if you like, put some spaces between names and some other bits and pieces. I can also add a logo. I've got a logo at the top. I'm actually going to move the name of the form over to the center. I should make that a bit more English as well. So this form is customer order. And then I can just add the logo by clicking logo and then selecting the picture, the image for the logo, which the company's computer crazy, and the logo appears at the top of the form. And you could do other things like change the form colors. If you look at the property sheet, you could change, for example, if I click here, I'm in the form header and I can change the background color if I wanted to. I don't know, I could choose, computer crazy, got a slight red color. I could choose that, some sort of thing in there. It's not brilliant, but you get the idea. So at that point, I've done some layouts. What I want to do now, though, is I want to add an extra field. I want to add, for this subform here, I want to add the producer name, the people who actually produced the game. For that, I need to go to Design View. I'm going to go into Design View, same form. So now it asks me to save what I've done so far. I save it. Now in Design View, I'll get the grid format. Although this looks like it's in a column format, it will still appear as a data sheet. I don't know quite why Access does that, but it does. Let's click on Design. And this time what I want to do is, well, first of all, I'm going to double click and make sure I'm on the subform, because it can get a bit fiddly. So double click on the subform and then add existing fields. And it's showing me the fields that I can use. These are the fields that are currently on the form. These are fields in other tables that are related. The producer table is related to the games table. So I should be able to drag the producer name at the top here. And now I've put the producer name, doesn't look very tidy on there. Let's just move it around a bit. I always find this very fiddly in Access, the way the labels work. You have to sort of work them around. But now I've got the producer name. A couple of things I want to do. Let's get rid of the field list. I want to add some buttons. You can have some navigation buttons. Instead of them clicking on the small buttons you get on the form, you can add a larger button which can go to the next record or the previous. Let's very quickly show you how to do that. I'm going to put it in the form footer. I'll click down the bottom. So I've got, this is called the detail area, which has got the order header there, the order details, and then the subform with the order lines. And then the whole form's got a footer, and that's where I'm going to put the buttons. The buttons are quite easy to use. You've got a little icon, you click on it, you drag it where you want it. So I'm going to put it there. And then it comes up with a wizard saying, well, what do you want this button to do? Well, in this case, I'm going to use it for record navigation. I'm going to go through the records that are actually in this table. The table is over, the order table. I'm going to just say go to next record. So when they click on this button, it goes to the next. You can see you can go to the previous, but let's just do one as an example. I can use an arrow or go to next. It's got some default. I can actually write what I wanted on the button. I'm just going to click and take whatever they're doing. I could give it a name, but I'm just going to do finish. So now I've just got a little arrow key, and if they click on that, they go to the next record. There's one other button I want to add. I want to be able to, when they're in this form, I want them to be able to see the full customer details. At the moment, they just see the first and last name. Maybe the user wants to see the name and address of the customer for this order as well. We can use another button to do that. We click on the button again. This time I'm going to put it, I don't know, let's put it over here, say. And this one, instead of record navigation, I'm going to do form operations. So I click form. And basically what I want to do is open the form. The form I want to open is the form that shows the customer. It's my customer form, so they can edit details and show details. Let's click on, double click, so I want to open form. What form do you want? Well, I've got a list of my forms here. I'm going to pick the customer one. Press next. I could just do it to show the records, but let's just show you something that Access can do, which is rather clever. I'm going to say, well, I want the form to open, and I just want to see the customer record for this order. So we've got the customer ID sitting here. I want to see the form that displays that customer details for that customer ID. So I click next, and it's asking me, well, okay, how do you want to connect the two? How do you want to connect this customer ID with the customer record? Well, it's the customer ID. So I click there, and I click that's in this form, and then I click on the customer table what field I'm going to use to link them. So they're both linked. Then I click on this double arrow, as the wizard tells me. We click next. I'm just going to take all the defaults and finish. You could change a different icon or label. Let's see how our form now looks. Well, first of all, so I've got customer ID 10. It's Fred Smith. Let's see if this button works. And it goes off and shows me the customer record for that one. So that's pretty good. I should have had a back arrow going onto this particular one, but let's go back out. So I'll do that, and I've got the producer names also appeared down the bottom here, so I've got those, and I've got my little navigation button which I'm clicking, and I'll click through the records. Okay, that was a whistle stop tour of some of the layout options which you can try on some of your forms now. Save that.